Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
Made daily with organic, farm to table, localized, neuralized, sterilized, Scotch guarded for 2020 repellent, available online, not available on Sundays, Broken Pencil Logic. You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
There it is, just like that. And we're back.
Batman team!
Booyaka shot, boy!
I'm gonna say what happened to the applause. They ain't fooling with us no more.
No, they fooling with us. We outside and up in this simultaneously.
20. Indeed.
Yeah.
And a happy new year to you all.
Oh, speaking of today's date, Monday, January the 5th. Yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
I said, yeah, my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
You ready for this, Suave?
Yeah, let's go.
20 and 26.
Mafia. You knew what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's
What the church say.
Hey, man.
Yes, triggers on deck.
Funny.
No straps. Pose.
Hey, that's how you know you saw how I really know how you gonna react to something. Because he first of all, he gave me the option to either hear it in pre-production or wait till we went live recording. I chose live recording because, hey, roll the dice. That's what I got. And my immediate reaction is I'm certain what he was going for. And now I said, sew it in.
And you're welcome. You're all welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has been way too long since we have been with you.
Entirely.
When I say life be life into us, life really be life into us.
Modern day superheroes is what we are.
My man Suave went under the knife for you all unexpectedly, for the date for me unexpectedly, which put a tremendous delay, indefinite delay.
You were unexpected on the date?
Not remember you messed up.
I didn't mess up. But I still haven't told you that whole story. But yeah, I didn't mess up at all.
Well, we need to make sure we put that on the pre-roll because that's going to be classic listening. There's so many. I really wish that we could, like, for episode 300, I really wish we could go into the archives of the pre-roll and let y'all hear the things that we talk about that's not wrestling related, that's also hip-hop related and also life related. But there's probably more hours of pre-roll than we have hours of episodes for this show, and I'm not even playing with you.
We have public images that we need to have, proper upkeep and maintenance of. So certain stuff just has to remain where it is.
I'll see you when I raise you. There ain't enough litigation in the budget right now.
Boy, the war chest is not full enough to fight any of the cases that will come from that pre-roll. So
the retirement is looking real nice, and I want it to stay that way.
You feel me? Do you feel me? Like I'm finna sir. Acorns and Robin Hood and all, they gonna hate me if we get into that pre-roll.
All right, let's get into the particulars. VitaHermosaCigars.com. Vita Hermosa Cigars is a beautiful life. We are available in a couple of different locations: Ash in St. Louis, Smoke and Sip in St. Louis, Abby's in Knightdale, North Carolina. I am mobile. We are going this year. We are going to be outside for real in a major way. If you see me, if you online, you see me in person, holler at me, got them sticks. It's VitaHermosa.com. It's a beautiful life. SerwinVega.com. Gary, Henry, what up? Sir,
what up?
They will be at CES this year. They also will be at NAMM this year. Coming up this month. Gary will be on the show probably the next episode.
Great. Love it.
If he wasn't 3 hours behind us, he would be on this episode. But be that as it may, we'll get him when we get him. Motorcycle audio, car audio, pro audio, your Bluetooth audio, nautical. Suave, where we at?
On a boat.
Just you wait, and we won't be intercepted by the U.S. military. Let the church say,
"Hey, man."
ServoVega.com, your pro audio source for true pro audio, and you know that vintage Servo Vega sound. They got
Can you dig it?
tinyurl.com/BPBC merch. Go get it. I'm surprised I'm not wearing a shirt right now, but I will be taking a trip to the A, and I will be wearing Broken Pencil t-shirts while I'm out moving around, especially since we're going to have 70-degree weather in January in the South.
70? Do you know we were really debating wearing short sets on Christmas Day in Texas, specifically the DFW area? Short sets.
Listen, my last Christmas in DFW was 2022. And that was the year, that was the Christmas that they debuted or they showed and world premiered the Madden documentary on Fox right before the game. And I was in my garage with the garage up and fell asleep in my garage because it was about 75 degrees with no wind. And I'm outside old manning it in my zero gravity chair watching Madden. Yes.
That's exactly how you know you're in a swanky neighborhood. You can go to sleep in your garage with the garage up.
And the TV on in the garage, because that's a thing in Texas.
and wake up with all your amenities and your jewels.
All the lawn equipment, all the things in the refrigerator. Hell, the refrigerator was still
the refrigerator was fully stocked. So everywhere the eye can see.
As far as the eye can see, baby.
Big time watches. That ain't for you, Steve. That's for somebody else, baby.
Yeah, what is that cashmere? Get that old cashmere out of it.
Somebody with the little cashmere coat. Whack 'em, baby.
Whack 'em, baby. Man, yo, all right. Before we get into the show, Swab, we got some breaking news.
Do we?
We got some breaking news, bro.
Oh. Well, let me ask you this. Did you want to do the segue when we talk about Japan and then?
Nah. There's so in order of operations.
Okay.
This was decided. The last episode we hinted at this.
Right.
So now we have the breaking news. There's more breaking news to follow this, which will add more to what this announcement is that we have for you.
Okay. In that case, here's some breaking news.
Broken Pencil Gang, breaking news. Last time you saw me on the show, I was able to show off my collection, as you see right here in the background. Only thing that really changed, I got this bad boy right here. Signed blue universal title by your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. With that being said, I feel like giving back to the community. So, in the coming weeks, maybe even days, not quite sure which show the rules will be announced on yet, but 2 belts will be given away with rules becoming crystal clear very, very soon. So pay attention to the shows, listen to the whole thing. First belt, IWGP Global title. And second belt, don't lose your minds, IWGP version 4. All right? Pay attention to the rules. All right? They will become crystal clear very quick. Peace.
That was our resident belt collector, Jamal Willis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is as real as it gets. We've done a couple of giveaways on the show. None bigger than that.
The Broken Pencil Booking Company Big Belt Giveaway.
The IWGP Heavyweight Championship, version 4, and the IWGP Global Championship. And now the reason that we played the video first, and we'll talk about this later in the show, is that this was decided about right before our last episode, and since then Wrestle Kingdom 20 has happened, and we have a new IWGP heavyweight champion who retired the butterfly belt and brought back, which was the world championship, and brought back the version 4 title, the IWGP heavyweight championship. So 2 active belts are being given away. These belts were the global belt wasn't even really being used, but became a very focal point of a big focal point of the Wrestle Kingdom show. But the fact that the version 4 belt is back active with this global championship, how many shows are giving away in real time active title belts replicas?
Especially when you know the lineage of championship belts as it pertains to New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is why the Broken Pencil Booking Company Big Belt giveaway is so unique and important to the culture. This is culture we're talking about.
Episode 267, whenever it drops, we will give you the rules. We will give you the pencil pusher
1 month.
Let's just say the week. Let me look at my calendar. The week of.
Hey, how about we announce?
Go ahead.
You finna go into IMOC. I was gonna say announce the winner on the Black History Month episode of the Broken Pencil Booking Company.
Done.
Dope boy cash out.
Done. We got it. We got a lot. I know who I want for guests this year.
We got to start working on that early too.
Like now. Like I know who I want.
Yeah, like now.
We got to get them. We got to get them.
Facts. All right.
And if you know about the Hall of Famers, there's a common thread amongst our Hall of Famers.
This is true. It's not the one you think either.
It's not at all. I wish it was. I wish it was that simple. That was way more outside. But who I got in mind falls right in line.
Right down the middle, daddy.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Suave.
Yeah.
All the business is out the way. Now we can talk some wrestling.
Man. Okay, let's get back into the swing of things.
The retirement of John Cena. First of all, let's put a bow on a beautiful career. You've had a couple of chances to see Cena, haven't you?
Let me
32.
think about this. Cena was at 32, right?
Yep.
So yes, I've seen Cena at 32 at a couple of different Raws. I can't remember if he was on the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view. I feel like he was.
Who did Joe go against? Was it Roman?
No, that was Joe and Lesnar. That I'm literally looking at my chair like right now. That was my whole reason for going.
Let's see.
Joe versus
Lesnar. Fire. Let's see what the match list was. And that even talking about one of the best one-off pay-per-views. That thing started with a bang, and then the Raw the next night was crazy.
So it was Roman versus Strowman, and that was like
the ambulance match.
There you go.
Yeah, no, Cena was not there at Great Balls of Fire.
And Hardy's versus the Bar in an Iron Man tag match. Dope pay-per-view.
Yeah, so we can run it down. I mean, you had Neville versus Akira Tozawa, Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins, Big Cass versus Enzo, The Miz versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship, Heath Slater versus Kurt Hawkins. It was almost like rivalries. You know what I'm saying? Like you had people going against, people that they had affiliations with to a degree.
Great pay-per-view with a horrible ass name.
Yeah.
No other way to get around it, because there was no synergy in giving it that name.
I actually had the privilege of seeing Cena at 25 at Mania 25 in Houston.
Okay,
against the Miz.
I take it back. You know when I saw Cena? Another time I saw him, Saturday Night's Main Event in 2006, when Mark Henry had the unfortunate incident with his kneecap.
Oh man,
I was there for that.
Gross.
Yeah, that was not cool. But I was there for that. I'm trying to think. Some other time I've seen him live. I'm sure there's been some house shows, but I've had the privilege of being in the crowd when Cena was doing his thing.
And mind you, at 32, Cena wasn't on the card. I think that was the night that Cena was actually. I think he was in the crowd, but he didn't come out and do a match during the crowd, from the crowd. But I think he was in the crowd that night.
He did a run-in. I want to say, did he do the run-in to save The Rock from the Wyatt family or something like that? I want to say what he did was that was what he did, but give me a second.
Boom. That is it. John Cena made a surprise return from shoulder surgery to help The Rock fight off the Wyatt family. Circle gets the square. Johnny, tell him what he's won.
You won the opportunity to listen to episode 267 and figure out how you could potentially win the Broken Pencil Booking Company Big Belt giveaway. Yeah, I did that.
This is the second time on this show that you've amazed me with WrestleMania knowledge out of the clear blue. The first time was an episode was actually, well, I can't tell you the episode, but you in season 1 you ran down in reverse all of the main events of WrestleMania.
Bro, that's crazy. We need to pull that audio and it wasn't video. Pull the audio.
It was definitely audio. We're only numbered 66 episodes or 67 episodes in on video with this one.
That's crazy. So now I'm gonna have to do it with video so we can have it documented. That's crazy.
Is that we're gonna do that for the Big Bell giveaway? I wish that would be something. Get somebody who can match your main event knowledge off the top, like eyes closed type situation.
I mean, I see what you're cooking. I smell it.
Now, but 267, we're gonna have the rules for you. And
we'll have all the stuff figured out.
Brace yourself, because get your game ready. That's all we're gonna tell you. But back to Cena though.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the tap out? Because we'd said this back in September that it was going to be Walter. Didn't know how we were going to get there. We just knew that's what it was going to be. And the bloom was kind of off the rose. There's that phrase again. When the tournament happened and Walter basically, gave people good matches, great matches even, only to win the entire tournament and take on Cena for his last match. And the last thing that we saw prior to the bell ringing was Cena smiling, getting choked out and tapping to MMA style to the forearm of Walter in our house. Are you frozen? And you are frozen.
What I saw was Stanford being predictable, like they typically are. We knew 2 months before the tournament started, when the news kind of leaked that Walter was going to be the final opponent, I knew looking at that situation what was going to happen. I didn't really take into the account that, maybe most of all because I didn't care, that he was the retirement opponent for Goldberg. So this is becoming a thing with him. And then the
new legend killer?
I think they'll come up with another name for it. But yes, something similar.
The tap dancer.
Hey. That's something we would come up with to get money. But yeah, the retirement home on the goal. Yeah.
He got about 2 more. He go up the village.
The handshake and the watch is what we're gonna start calling it. Out of here. But it was just predictable, especially with Cena's never give up, and then knowing Cena's a student of the game. We always knew he was gonna lose that last match.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's good business.
That's him. That's good business. What probably soured it for a lot of people was he had so many losses that were unexplained during the retirement tour. You knew, what I thought was going to happen, honestly, was Dominic was going to end up having to win the tournament to have his final match for the Intercontinental Championship. That way, Cena would have lost his last match by putting Dom over, giving him back the Intercontinental title. Dom is a super heel at that point. He's already like he's nuclear. He's nuclear.
He would have been had he not been injured. But continue.
Same. So
Get well to Dirty Dom.
Yeah, that's what would have made more sense to me. Walter's character is perfect for this because he's the elitist, smug, the ring is sacred, yada da da da.
Yada I mean.
Get well soon, Jacob Fatu.
Yes.
So the WWE universe in this particular instance justified what happened then and afterwards by being very predictable in their reaction to it. The live crowd in where were they for this?
DC.
The live crowd in DC did exactly what they were supposed to. They shit on the ending and they shit on Triple H as soon as he became visible. Gave him the business. The only thing was
the network TV live business that wasn't network TV friendly.
Right.
At all.
I don't know if for a second Cena thought it was him that was being, shot at. It wasn't. Everybody hated the booking decision because it was done so lazily. Like there was nothing came out of that tournament that said somebody else got made or that it was even entertaining television. You put the Miz in twice to beat him twice. Nothing spectacular came out of it other than maybe Javon Evans getting a shot on Raw. It was very ho-hum. We got to the ending. The ending was ho-hum. It was a fucking sleeper hold.
And what I didn't like was the smile before the tap.
Did you see him explain that? Because he did a pod with Cody. Cody's pod. What do you want to talk about?
Absolutely. Like, I mean, it was like your final resting place. Like, if this is where you go out, are you happy with the way that is happening? And
I'm cool with the smile if he doesn't tap. I'm cool with the smile if he just fades out. Yeah, if he just fades out and he's out, okay, cool. The smile goes there. The smile with the tap doesn't go with the character. And I think that's what a lot of longtime fans are angry about. The never give up mantra, you just broke it. And I get it. You broke it to put this guy over who's already been super pushed.
And all signs were pointing to him giving up anyway.
Right.
So the one thing you could have did was make sure that he never gave up. Really simple.
Yeah, like so now no matter what happens, you can never go back to that.
He's not giving us another match. It's over.
I mean, time will tell, but if Cena says it's no more, it's no more.
I don't know if Saudi got a bag big enough for that.
You know damn well they got a bag big enough to make it happen. Why would you say that?
Well,
do you know what soccer players were getting paid to go to Saudi? Do you know what these fighters were getting paid to go to Saudi? They more than have enough of a bag to make
true comma game.
Straight like that.
8-9 digit game.
Kama Sutra.
The football players were getting 3 commas.
That's all I'm saying. So there's enough money to make it plausible. It's just it's okay to say you didn't like the way it ended, even though for fans like us who have pretty much got this down to a science, we knew what was coming. The execution 2, the plan 8, 7, 8, 6, 7, possibly. And then, like I say, the execution was a 2, the planning for the execution 2, the DC crowd letting Trips have it. That's exactly how people
11.
felt at the time. Yeah, 11. My God, DC. hit the applause for DC. Did not let them boys make it out unscathed. Here's what, and then Walter shows up on Raw. He gets the super heat. They let
the last time we saw natural heat like that was Roman after beating Undertaker at Mania.
Here's my problem with that, though. As a crowd, as a general audience, and I know this is never
an announcement, by the way.
Ding. Here's what I do know, and I know I'll never see it in my lifetime because it's entirely too hard to get that many people to think in unison at one time. If you're truly pissed off about what was done, rather than booing, walk out.
Walk out.
We saw people try this with Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns.
We saw people try it with Brock and Roman.
Right. You're gonna have to just walk out on a segment. You're gonna have to get up, turn around, leave. And most people aren't going to do that because you paid to get in the first place.
You paid a lot of money from now in today's economy. You paid a lot of money. So a walkout, or you're going to have to go dead silent. No reaction.
No reaction. The reaction that gets their attention is no reaction. So if you don't boo, you don't feed into it. That's when you have to really look. Dead air is the enemy of all entertainment entities. Radio,
all broadcast, absolutely.
All broadcast. Dead air is the enemy. At any point, they have to explain why a crowd has no life to it.
You're going to mess that up too.
That's when you know somebody has to go in and fix this. Triple H's booking has been subpar. Let's call it what it is. This is just another example of it, and people called him to the carpet on his bullshit.
So here's a spoiled milk moment here. If we were able to record 266 when we originally had planned to, part of my conversation would have been Cena shows up to Wrestle Kingdom to wrestle Tanahashi, something that never happened.
Right.
Because it was Cena's advertised last WWE match. And even if it's just for a one-off, he's out of contract at this point, right? And who better than the ace of New Japan to take on the ace of America? In fact, they call Tanahashi the John Cena of New Japan.
Right.
So why wouldn't that have been a great moment to go out on? Unfortunately for us as wrestling fans, we found out on the Cody podcast, what do you want to talk about? That Cena has signed a 5-year deal to be an ambassador with WWE immediately after or it could have been before the match or even after. With either way, there was a problem with him going to New Japan. And if there's a problem with him going to New Japan, there was also going to be a problem with Shinsuke Nakamura going to New Japan, who would have been the other logical choice to go to take on Tanahashi for his last match. Instead, not to say that this is a healthy number 3, because in any world, it could be a number 1 choice.
Right.
I'm just saying because of the visibility, regardless of the popularity, regardless of the history, because there's definitely history with Nakamura. Not so much with Cena, but it would have been a historic moment to do it. We get Okada to retire Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom 20.
New Japan, because they had the number of options they had, they didn't have an opportunity to lose here. Everything for them was going to come back.
Everything was a win for Tanahashi.
Yeah, there was no loss for them here. The issue with what you created is that it was too
rich.
It made too much sense.
Too rich.
too rich. And you're dealing with Stanford, and Stanford is not in the business of giving you moments that you're looking for unless you're paying them to get it. So letting Cena go off and do anything that is not on WWE television when you just, air quotes, had his retirement match, they can't capitalize on anything that comes from, Wrestle Kingdom other than a booking fee. And it just ain't. That's not how Stanford does business. We've completely understood this. Like if it doesn't show up on their balance sheet, they're not in for it
at all.
So all of those wrestling dreams and all of those dream matches you try to put together, and this would be cool. And what if Moxley popped up and got involved with Seth Rollins? And, what if you reunited the Shield to take on the Vision? These are all just stuff you can do it on the video game. Otherwise,
that's about where it stops.
That we give such and such props, but that's where it stops.
So at any rate, bang up job for John Cena for his career. He gave us some great moments.
Mount Rushmore.
And here's a misconception about Mount Rushmore. It's not the best. It's not the greatest. It's who provided the most impact for what they do.
Who is most
during the eras they were the most relevant.
It's a shrine of MVPs.
That's it. It's not your great. It's not your goats.
That's what
you're not goats.
That's what your personal top 5 is for. Your personal top 5 is about, hey, I think these guys are the best. I like this guy the most. He's da-da-da-da. When you're being objective and making a Mount Rushmore for a particular subject, there's criteria.
It's arguable. It's the whole point of the conversation that it makes it arguable. Because people will argue that the people who are on the actual Mount Rushmore don't need to be there. Yeah, there's tribes of natives and indigenous people that believe that none of the people on Mount Rushmore believe it should be there.
All true statements. You ain't said no lies. It's just
okay. Subjective.
Watch this. Give me your WWE Mount Rushmore real quick.
My WWE Mount Rushmore.
WWE FG. Keep them all together.
Bruno.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I understand.
Good try, Terry.
Got it.
Oh, this is where it gets dicey. Because this could be a two-headed monster, but I gotta pick one.
Okay.
I'm going with Austin.
Okay. One more.
Cena now makes it. If we got to go 4.
So you got 3 out of my 4.
Your 4th one is probably Rock versus Austin.
I actually swapped the Rock out, and the reason I swapped him out was commerce. It's Roman.
I was just about to say. For
the level of commerce, it's Roman.
And I would be willing. I would be willing to swap out Good Try Terry for Roman for that very reason.
And I was being objective about Good Try Terry, but he has enough dirt on his jacket that I could just say, to hell with him. And Andre the Giant could be on Mount Rushmore for WWE or WWF.
I don't think he would belong on the Mount Rushmore of WWE/F more so than he belongs in the Mount Rushmore professional wrestling.
I understand where you're coming from with that. The reason I would put him on Mount Rushmore, one, because of when I was born.
Mm-hmm.
So I only saw Black Singlet Andre the Giant in real time.
And the Giant Machine. Do not forget the Giant Machine, because you saw him too.
Bing bong. if not for Andre the Giant, you don't get the twin referees. You don't get
him having the world title be bought for him.
Right? You don't get
not for him, from him.
Exactly. You don't get the main event of WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
Which, let's keep it G. How much of Good Try Terry is based on the legend of WrestleMania 3?
Literally, Like you had a whole video game about it.
Let's keep it real, because again, like we talked about, me knowing all the main events, WrestleMania 1 was a tag match. A lot of hype behind it, but in today's day and age, there are not a lot of people who go back and talk about the main event of WrestleMania 1.
They always reference 3. No one references 2.
Nobody references 2 because openly known 2 is looked at as the biggest clusterfuck in WrestleMania history. Like, I mean,
you had 3 different locations, 3 different parts of the country,
3 different shows.
Television. This is pre-pay-per-view.
Bruh. 3 locations, 3 shows, 3 main events, 3 cities. I don't know what they were smoking when they came up with that, but you got to take a little bit out of the pre-roll, famo. That joint should have never been lit.
I love that analogy.
That joint should have never been lit. But
the bag should have never been opened.
Facts.
The Philly should have never been split.
Those nuts should have been never dumped out. That filter paper should have never been pulled out.
That bodega should have never been walked into.
Sorry, man. That loud should have never been picked up.
Oh, jeez.
That's crazy. But yeah, as a Mount Rushmore, I could make a case for Andre. But yeah, mine for WWE is very similar to what you just did. Cena, Good Try Terry, Austin, Roman, and that covers 4 different generations. Well, at least 3.
And direct impact. There is direct impact to every one of them.
All four were the guy and drove the commerce of their era through the roof.
Because we know
visibility. And for anybody listening to this or watching right now and pitching a fit, because I put Roman on Mount Rushmore. 1, a 4-year title reign. 2, look at the number of commerce that was brought in just in ticket sales and attendance. And this man is the first professional wrestler with a Jordan brand endorsement. There's never been a wrestler with a sneaker deal like this. And the Bloodline 12 apparently is still coming out in 2026.
It would be safe to say, like, New Day revolutionized the ability to wear sneakers on television. Roman revolutionized the way that you look at sneakers on television. Because only person that I know that was getting outside and telling the world what shoes the New Day was wearing is my co-host. Everybody was checking for Roman and Bloodline shoes. Everybody.
Shout out to Batista, who put the Jordan 28 in massive rotation.
Shouts out to Shane McMahon with the exclusives.
Shane made the Jordan 3 a staple. Now, he did pull out a couple exclusives a couple of times. I think there was a Jordan 29 or 30 he put on that was fairly new.
It was something he put on. What was the last match he had? Was it against Miz where he tore his quad?
Was that against the Miz?
I want to say it was.
No. He tore his quad. I know Snoop was involved, so it might have been.
That was Miz. So okay. Yeah, so I think Snoop came in and kind of saved the situation, but it was Miz. And if I'm not mistaken, the shoe he had on then was about a year pre-release.
I would have to go look and see exactly which one.
Yeah, I believe that was the case. At any rate,
and it was a Jordan 33 that he had on that was like unreleased when he wore it. I have to go back and check out WrestleMania to see what he put on when he tore his quad. But yeah, Shane has done a lot for sneaker culture. Of course, shout out to Enzo Amore because oh man, like he has to be mentioned.
A lot of people don't recognize or don't realize because he doesn't fit the body type. But his walk to the ring encompasses a Jumpman pose.
Yes. Yes, shout out to Bret Hart, who wore a lot of Jordan. He wore a lot of Jordan brand stuff, especially when he would do, street clothes interviews.
The Hart Foundation as a whole was doing that.
That too. Just because of Michael Jordan's significance, you get a lot of athletes in the 90s, a lot of pro wrestlers in the 90s wanting to be a part of that wave. So when you did see them in street clothes, which was kind of a rarity, you would see a lot of Jordans. And here's an interesting post I saw online. I haven't done any additional research to see if I can find something earlier, but there's a post online that had been tracking sneaker culture in professional wrestling. And they were able to go back and find out the first time someone wore Air Jordans on a professional wrestling show. Care to guess who it was? I'll give you the year. Care to guess who it is? 1992.
On a show?
On a pay-per-view.
Don't tell me it was Luger.
That's a great guess. That's not who I'm talking about in this very moment.
Huh.
But that's one guess. I give you two more.
Davey Boy.
No. Another great guess.
Man, I'm getting outside here. Is Brian Pillman?
Third great guess in a row. And I
wasn't even thinking Hart Foundation Brian Pillman at this point. I'm just thinking WCW.
Right, because I was thinking Flying Brian was first, but in 91 he wasn't wearing a Jordan. It was like a Air Force 180 or something like that. Here's the answer. Kurt Mr. Perfect Hennig.
That doesn't surprise me.
WrestleMania 8 as the manager for Ric Flair.
That's not surprising.
He is wearing infrared Jordan 6s.
That does not surprise me one bit.
Now, I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure that there's no one else who's rocking them sooner. But for right now, I'm accepting that answer as the truth.
I got. Speaking of history, because we do this here,
right?
There are only two people, to ever release a debut album under the genre of hip hop, go platinum, and never have a follow up.
Wow.
Do you know who those two people are? John
Cena.
He's one of them.
Release a platinum album, never
as a solo debut, and never have a follow up.
Damn. Okay, John Cena. Alley-oop me some type of clue with this second person.
Too easy if I tell you.
Okay.
But here's the hint. You're already late to the party.
I'm out of guesses. Go ahead.
Lauryn Hill.
Oh, you're already late to the party. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you earned that one. You good. Oh man, that's an inside joke if you've ever had one.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Damn, that was too easy. Now that you say it, okay.
Yeah, because every hint I would have given you, you would have got it. But
yeah, if you just said Fuji's Sister Act, those two would have been good enough by themselves. So yeah, I'm with you. I see what's up.
If I said sweetest thing you ever known, then I couldn't lob it.
At that point, you might as well lay it up yourself.
There you go. Not long after the Cena retirement, we were treated with this would have been a WWE Network era style pay-per-view, late 2010s pandemic, where the card on paper didn't look as good as the finished product.
Boy,
AEW World's End.
I miss those days.
Listen, AEW World's End was, if you like wrestling with a smattering of entertainment this was the show for you. The misses weren't bad. They just weren't great. Everything else I thought was fire. The Continental Classic, the way they put the bow on that bad boy, fire.
I hated the see, and then we differ on this show. I agree with your assessment of the entire show. We just differ on some of the results of stuff that happened.
Okay, let me pull the card because it's long card. Pause, but I do want to kind of go over it real quick. Okada versus Takeshita. How'd you feel about that?
Honestly, if I was booking, I'd have booked Takeshita to go over.
I agree. I would have to. He was actually I actually had Fletcher winning the whole tournament, and I said that on this show.
Right. I would have had him go over clean, only to have Okada kind of shit on the premise of the tournament in the final. Because you've never done that. The Continental Classic is supposed to be a tournament where there's no outside interference. The greatest tournament wrestler of all time just got beat by what you would essentially call his heir to the throne,
who was also at the time the IWGP World Champion.
Right. So
who should never been beaten.
Right. Then to have Okada come back out during the final, interject himself into the match, causing Takeshita to lose, disgrace the tournament, disgrace himself as the greatest tournament wrestler of all time, and set up a pay-per-view main event match for him and Takeshita at a time and place to be determined.
That little nugget right there, the story within the story, to me makes this feud have longevity.
I feel like you could have got a whole pay-per-view off, and that would have been the main event, and nobody would have felt cheated by it.
That is a main event anywhere for it to start the show. I thought was egregious, but I understood it because it's part of the tournament. And this tournament, I'm a fan. This is 3 years. They've had 3 banger tournaments.
So that would have been my way to, go about Takeshita Okada, but obviously they went a different way with that.
Mox versus Fletcher. How'd you feel about that?
I think Mox needs a break. That's first.
I couldn't agree more. And I think I hate to say this. We witnessed no less than a handful of attempted unalivings by this man within the last 15 months.
Yeah, Fletcher's too good in the ring for some of the stuff they try to incorporate, like the screwdriver into the turnbuckle. I get it. You're kind of running out of stuff to do because ECW kind of ran through everything you should do short of unaliving someone. But one, he's too good in the ring to need it. 2, it's only a matter of time before something actually goes wrong.
But the good thing for him is age is on his side. He's a very young competitor with a ton of experience under his belt already. We can forget this in 5 years.
When something goes wrong with a screwdriver, not everybody gets to go home the same way they came in.
Luckily for us, he didn't have a screwdriver at his disposal.
Right.
Because Okada took it.
You see what I'm saying? But just that's become kind of overkill. The screwdriver has become overkill.
And mind you, this is the other thing I didn't care for. And okay. I don't know if it's because they hate Don Callis this much, or the fans are really in favor of what Mox is doing in the ring. I can't forget the unalivings. Am I entertained by the stuff he's doing lately? No, because he's lost a lot before this tournament. A lot.
And I feel like there's absolutely a way to have made that work. So here's one. Fletcher has probably got the biggest upside of anybody on the roster. Fletcher.
He's my favorite on AEW's roster right now, hands down.
Boom. And because of the way AEW booking works, there is an eventual match coming between him and Will Ospreay whenever Will Ospreay is medically cleared to return to competition.
Yes, you wait. Got an update on him later on the show too.
Bing bong. So that has to happen at some point. If Fletcher is up here when that happens, it makes, again, another potential pay-per-view main event in a company that prides itself on putting the best wrestling together on a card. I don't understand why you wouldn't build towards that. And then the story with Moxley. I felt like the better story with Mox was him losing, him giving up, him tapping, and then getting to a point where you could have been in the finals of the tournament, you give up again, and that's when the Death Riders essentially jump you out.
Don Callis had how many wrestlers in the overall tournament?
62.
You're not wrong.
There are 62 Don Callis family members in the Continental Classic tournament.
And all of them lost, except for actually all of them lost.
All of them lost. All 62 of them fell to defeat.
There was no reason to have that many people from one faction in this tournament and not have a faction versus faction internal match for the championship in the finals.
Again, another option. You could have made it to where Okada versus Takeshita was the final, and then Callis has to make a decision.
You could have put Moxley versus Okada, or Moxley versus Takeshita, and now Okada versus Fletcher, or Okada versus Moxley.
I mean, there's so many different ways this could have gone, and none of them happened the way I probably would have put it together. I understand what you're doing with Moxley. It's just, I think at some point, overexposure, because he went so many pay-per-views last year, without losing, because he was the champion, and they were doing this whole story where the belt is hidden, and there's this, he's trying to make everybody earn it. Now,
basically from October until actually September until June, July,
something to that effect. Whatever it is, he's trying to make the roster earn. They apparently hadn't earned it in almost a year until it was just time to give it up. And
but as dastardly as he's been, like, he's, as fans, you gravitate towards a natural face turn for this guy who raised you.
I just
not even a storyline. This, like, they gravitated towards this man. And again, was it because they hate Don Callis that much? Or
no,
they really like this man they said it through that commentary. Naturally, the crowd can't hear the commentary, but the Herb and the Mask, Schiavone, even Danielson, even what's my man? Come on, man. British guy, Nigel McGuinness. They all said it. Considering what he's done over the last year, why are you cheering this man? They said it. The crowd's getting behind a man that he's done dubious things.
Here's where you can put a bow on the Death Riders. Why doesn't Bryan Danielson get involved and make sure Moxley doesn't win? At some point, you've set this precedent that there's no interference in the Continental Classic, which, I mean, for the most part, we like. But this is also professional wrestling, and all of these stories are meant to be broken for the greater good of storytelling or for the greater good of the gate at the front office.
All right, so let me ask you this. The Blackpool Combat Club begot the Death Riders.
Right. And since I told you what the Death Riders reminded me of at All In, it's been just... Yeah,
downhill, literally.
I can't unsee what I saw.
Now, you get rid of Mox, you get him out the picture, right? Or you officially turn him while keeping everybody else on the side, right?
Okay.
Who takes over for where Death Riders leaves off, and do you change the name again?
One, absolutely change the name. I hate the name Death Riders. the obvious choice, if you were just promoting from within the faction, it'd be Claudio. But we know Claudio does not do a lot of public speaking. That's not his thing. So,
and how much more time do we have with him at peak performance?
3 to 5.
Is that juice worth the squeeze? And is there a payoff?
That's 3 to 5 barring injury, and the only payoff is to make him a world champion.
Is that going to happen? Because he was with ROH.
No, it's not going to happen.
That's my point.
Let's keep it G. It just ain't. So run me a short list of options who could take over, running the faction.
Who do you want to see running the faction is a better question, because I don't want anybody with that crew.
Oh, Nicole, had we done more?
Yeah, actually, there's one person I could see taking over that crew, but he doesn't speak enough English to do it, even though I think he has the look and he has the skill to actually lead this crew into the future.
Who?
Andrade. But he's already affiliated with the Don Callis family.
That part. He becomes, and then Death Riders, they become something completely different, which for being a crew, essentially a functioning dojo, I'm cool with that. I like the original idea for the Blackpool Combat Club. I'm cool with that idea. What it morphed into with the Death Riders, I'm like, not so much.
Different kind of game.
Had they done enough character development and done enough in-ring development, you know who the perfect person to take over would have been?
Who that?
Yuta.
They did too much damage to him last year for me to even put him in the conversation.
You see what I'm saying? But like story-wise,
he's the fall guy, and he shouldn't be. He should be up there. And you and I both said this. If you kept Takeshita with them and turned Takeshita into the killer that he is now, alongside Yuta, you could have had a nice tag run.
Yep.
And then had Yuta, because Yuta speaks perfect English. So I mean, there's that. He's from Pennsylvania, so he could have been the one to actually lead, even if he was only in matches maybe once every 2 or 3 months. Less is more. Right.
So if we had protected Yuta a little better, him being the guy to pull the trigger on kicking Moxley out, that would have been cool. That'd have been, that'd have been promoting from within. Other than that, I don't know. You just kind of look at the roster and you see who's not doing anything, who wrestles kind of that style, and
FTR versus Bang Bang Gang street fight.
It's not the Bang Bang Gang that gave us the classic on Collision, so it's not the same.
Boy.
Juice and Jay White say. Shout out to Juice for looking like Al Perez Jr.
They gave us a hell of a match. I think it was hot shotted. I don't think they had enough time for it, but it was crash and burn, and Stokely ate shit. Hey, yo, did you see? Did you see that he released a statement saying that he was in the Vivian Banks Memorial Center recovering?
Say, man, Stokely it's hard to say he's underutilized, but he's underutilized. Like I don't. Him and Hobbs should be counting money right now. Him and Hobbs should be absolutely counting money on a daily basis. Him with FTR, cool, he gets more camera time, but that ain't where his bag is. It's not.
He said he's recovering at the Vivian Banks Medical Center.
That's hilarious.
And so let's leave for donations for his hefty bills to the Stokely Foundation.
Big stout, how? I'm short. I'm bald. I can't get any hoes. I've been fighting all my life.
Oh, boy, he is the Carlton of professional wrestling. The Babes of Wrath versus Ultimo Nay and Athena.
It was cool for what it was.
That there it is. Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd.
Yawn.
I,
And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but like, what are we doing with Darby?
we've seen him crash and burn before AEW was even a thing.
He's turning into a modern day Spike Dudley.
Before AEW was even a thought in the minds of whoever the Young Bucks, Cody, Kenny, Tony Khan, before even their first All In was ever a thing, Darby Allin had crashed out in matches for damn near a decade, if not longer. And I need to see something more. And Gabe Kidd is, I think he's the perfect person to hop into the Death Riders as a dojo. However, I don't think the U.S. crowd deserves that man.
I mean, look, if you're gonna have him on AEW television, you obviously have him there because you at the very least, see some potential. I don't think I've ever heard him speak.
I have once, and his British accent is strong.
But this is gonna sound crazy. Replacing one bald white guy with another bald white guy,
and I mean, in a faction of bald white guys. Mixed Nuts Mayhem. That's your entertainment right there.
One more time.
Mixed Nuts Mayhem.
Mixed Nuts Mayhem. The name says it all. Mixed Nuts Mayhem.
The best thing that came out of that was Roderick Strong getting kicked in the face by his legitimate wife, and then he turns around and slaps her and leaves his handprint on her back.
Dana White.
Hey, yo. Statlander versus Hayter. First of all, Jamie Hayter, I really hope there's nothing wrong with you. That was crazy. A spinning cradle brainbuster from the top rope is nuts.
I swear, I thought we had seen our first major catastrophe. If we were still doing the Oates moment of the week, that absolutely would have been a nominee.
And what
we got to bring that back just off.
Prisoner of the moment aside, that may have been the oh shit moment of the year because we like cringe.
Oh, I thought she had bit the big one.
Man,
we finna see a full scale stretcher job, neck brace, and yeah, I thought we were about to stop the show for about 45 minutes.
We beat the Mox horse enough, so won't mention that the final. But I think the right guy won in that particular match. I think I kind of need to hold it for another 365 days. MJF versus Samoa Joe versus Swerve versus Hangnail.
I love this. I did love this. You know how we feel about Hangnail, even though both of us may have a different explanation overall. We know how we feel. Both of us are pro Swerve.
We're definitely pro Joe.
Both of us are definitely pro Joe. But if what everybody is saying is going to manifest itself into being true, and what I mean by that is like the Sports Illustrated best promotion of the year, and people saying that AEW's turned the corner and they're finally, getting some momentum. If that's the case, of the four people in the ring, MJF is probably the best choice as your world champion. We're pro Swerve, so we would have said Swerve because Swerve understands how to navigate the terrain as champion. Joe is basically on the back chapters of his book. Hangnail just doesn't connect for me. So
and he's going to be there for a while, so we got to figure that out too. Here's the thing about MJF. MJF will be booked to get his ass kicked every match that he has,
which he shouldn't. But go ahead.
Well, not say that he's going to. He's going to be booked to get his ass kicked because everybody's going to be coming to kick Max's ass. Everyone, right? Because you hate him so much,
right?
But he's so good on the mic And he's actually decent in the ring. It's not like he's a bad wrestler who can just talk good. He's getting better. And his antics stay the same. He's the same person he's been since day one.
He needs to hold true to what he said before he left. When I come back, I'm going to be the devil in full bloom, essentially paraphrased. And
you don't need to let that horse out the stable all the way, but you need to let him poke his nose out once a week. Well, whenever he comes on TV, you need to let him poke his nose out and show that devilish attitude. That's how.
On the cool, I feel like at this point you don't have anything to save it for.
Nope.
MJF should be the centerpiece of every episode of Dynamite going forward because everyone wants to be champion. Everyone wants to figure out how they can get their hands on Max. And that is also the reason, while I would love for this to happen, I know it probably won't. And I have a substitute idea. Max needs a heater. Who is that heater? Go back to the original heater, Wardlow. Wardlow happens to be hurt at the moment. I don't know what his standing is gonna be or what his timetable looks like. So if
the injury is what we saw, what I think, what I've seen that it is, it's going to be at least a year from the time we saw him.
We ain't got that kind of time. So the substitute that I would say would make a great heater for Max, Big Bill. Ooh. We know Big Bill can talk. We know he can work enough. He looks the part. He's 7 feet tall, and you can't
teach that.
And Max has every bit as much mic game as Enzo did. So you know that this can work.
The charisma is not lost.
They can play off each other in a similar fashion, but Max needs a heater because you need somebody you have to deal with before you deal with the devil. And I don't like the idea of making the devil a chicken shit heel. But that's where I am with it.
We are encroaching upon the Stranger Things tie-in with WWE for Monday Night Raw for the 1 year anniversary, which is going to be headlined by CM Punk versus Braun Breaker for the world title.
Title change or no?
I'm going to say yes. I don't see anything that Punk has brought to the title other than his personality. And I mean, there's nothing that we've seen that says, he's going to be the champion to carry us into the future. Meanwhile, we already know Braun Breaker is the future. He's also returning to TV within the last week. Don't know if you caught this, but on main roster, Jordan Grace, Strick Williams.
Yep.
A returning Randy Orton. Shouts out to my son Jay. Wait a minute, wait for it. BL. And
I missed Randy coming back to TV, but that's a good thing.
And for the first time ever on WWE television under this moniker, Matt Cardona,
which makes so little sense to me when you just trotted him out here as Zack Ryder. Like, what are we doing?
Why didn't you do that for the tournament? That would have been a bigger moment than Zack Ryder, because you knew Zack Ryder was getting to New York City.
Somebody has to answer for this. Like, who's in charge?
And the good thing is, at least they put him on SmackDown with his wife, which is a move that Vince would have never done. But
is he going to get to be the same Cardona he was on the Indies? And of course, not exactly, but as far as attitude, presentation, the stuff he says, the way he approaches, business in general.
I hope so, especially with the fact that he gave up one of the championships that he had, the ACW championship. He gave it up. He vacated it when he announced that he was coming back to SmackDown. So we can hope. We can definitely hope. It remains to be seen, and I don't want to make an answer one way or another because people listen and they go exactly the opposite of what we suggest. As far as WWE goes, on December 31st, the majority, and I'll be like 99% of WWE content has left Peacock, only to be found on Netflix, YouTube, A&E, Tubi, ESPN.
Tubi.
Is there any place else I'm missing? And why so much? Why so many options?
Possibly any street corner in America. Anybody that has some sort of a streaming.
Hines Northwest Highway.
Yeah, Harry Hines. Because the whole library is being prostituted at this point.
Forrest and Idelia.
It is what it is. I guess YouTube is going to be your best option for right now. One, because it's free. And two, because there's quite a bit of content there, but it doesn't seem like there's anywhere to, one, find all of the content completely assembled, because literally there are chunks of Monday Night Raw missing. And I'm talking about the early days, the 93, 94, 95, 96, new generation era, like chunks of those episodes are missing.
With TKO, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying those episodes are missing, and just it. Not only is it spread thin, and then it's Swiss cheesed in different spaces.
With TKO moving the UFC out of ESPN into Paramount Plus and incorporating the premium live event aspect of watching UFC events moving forward, did they discover that the WWE network was sieving cash to the point to where it doesn't make sense to have the network anymore? Because I thought with the PLE model that they were at least able to sustain the roster, its library, and its integrity for all intents and purposes. Very low disregard for lame distribution, i.e. internet issues and bandwidth. We saw the issue at WrestleMania, what was it, 31? Where we had an issue with bandwidth?
That, I think,
or was
that
it 30?
It's 30.
Yeah, 30. So but that was it.
And that was the launch year.
Exactly. A month in.
So yeah, okay, let me ask you this. We've discussed this. You've heard my position on what's eventually going to happen once all of these different streaming deals come to their expiration date, simply because none of these content streaming partners are benefiting financially from these agreements. They're paying a premium for this catalog content, and it doesn't seem like anybody is cashing out. Fox jumped out because they weren't making enough money back. Peacock was not happy with their return on investment. Reportedly, ESPN, very early in this situation, is displeased with the return on investment. ROI doesn't seem to be hitting the way it was before. So you're gonna run out of places to keep putting this stuff. Are you any more or less convinced that my idea that says that the WWE network is an eventuality? Where are you at on this now?
If they were going to go back, it would have been long before now.
Why?
You had the option to prove the value of the network to TKO prior to TKO coming on board, especially when you knew the writing was on the wall for it to happen. And if we don't know if they're courting suitors or not, but we just said, cash is always king.
Always.
And speaking of kings, we're going to Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble. Next year, we're going there for WrestleMania. If anything can be done to prove its value or to disprove its value, there is a higher bidder if you decide to put the entity up for sale. And with that kind of money, it doesn't matter if you're winning or losing. All that matters is that you're playing. And when you're in that many places, are you taking the aggregate? Are you taking the composite total of all of these things and making it your moment of visibility for the world? Is this how you want to go to your shareholders and say, okay, we have Tubi, YouTube, ESPN, A&E, ESPN, World Star, allhiphop.com. What's up, Chuck Creekmer? Brazzers, every entity under the sun to tally up numbers to say this is how we're making our money, and then people are just going to be okay with it because it's everywhere. Because being everywhere is the same as being nowhere if you can't find what you're looking for on the thing that you use.
So everything you said is correct. The way I look at it is you're making yourself look really good on paper, which leads itself to your position of Saudi. With your position of Saudi is the eventual landing spot for TKO in relation to WWE. I can absolutely see that happening. Here's the thing.
Uh-oh. Say you had to, didn't you?
Here's the thing.
If that sale comes before the expiration date of these streaming entities, like let's say Netflix, because they hold more of the library than anybody else does at this point that isn't WWE itself. The sale of WWE or the sale of TKO altogether to Saudi happens before the expiration of this Netflix deal. Will then have you in a situation where Saudi is trying to negotiate with Netflix on content that has not provided a return on investment. And the added blowback of the American public shaming and or opting out on an entity that is negotiating with Saudi. Meaning, I'm going to cancel my Netflix if you guys, do business with Saudi. That's a possibility. We've seen things similar. So that then Saudi has control of a library but has nowhere in America to put it. Why would you not bring back the WWE network at that point to house all of your content and just go direct to consumer?
But when? How soon?
Next 5 years. What's the longest standing lease that's going on right now? It should be ESPN because they're the newest.
5 years. You're right.
Everybody's doing 5
because Netflix was 5 that started. No, Netflix was 10.
You certain?
I can do my Googles on that one. Netflix was 10 because it was in the B's.
True, and I mean, hey, if that's the case, that's
10 years, $5 billion.
How far are we into that now? 2?
1 year officially.
1 year
tomorrow.
So you got 9 years left. There's only 9
years left.
And there's your hip hop for the day. That was very good. That was very, very good. But yeah, just I see there being a situation that now that we know in 9 years, you're gonna see the WWE network. It's an inevitability. People will not keep bouncing around to all of these different streaming partners. All of these different streaming partners will not keep making it rain on this stripper.
Bruh.
At some point, the stripper just isn't any fun anymore, and it's time for her to go home. Put on a different outfit. Take a shower. Clean the act up a little bit. Learn some new moves. Pick some new songs. And when that day comes, she might just have to go to OnlyFans.
We were talking about the New Japan situations as far as the belts were concerned. Yota Tsuji defeated Konosuke Takeshita for the IWGP World Championship, and they basically retired the World Championship to bring back the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, the version 4, while holding on to the IWGP Global Championship. Also at this show was a returning Jay White. Excuse me. Also at this show was a returning Will Ospreay, who said that once he's healed up, he's going to return to New Japan to help rebuild United Empire.
Okay. Which is odd. Like, I don't like that. Kenny did something similar. Like, if I'm Kanos and I'm paying you the kind of money I am, I don't need you popping up on nobody else's TV talking about you going there before you come here.
Well, keep in mind, there is still this partnership between New Japan and AEW. Okay. And truth be told, it looks like AEW was getting far more out of the deal than New Japan was.
Actual factuals, but still, I need you to come check in over here before you start talking about you gonna pop out and show in Japan.
Well, checking in over here is what got his ass on the shelf.
Either or, I don't really care.
Same thing with Jay White. Same thing with Kenny Omega.
Who is cutting the check?
I think it's a combination of both.
You got a con button over there.
Who's cutting? I was saying between Tanahashi and. I mean, I think we have our answer as to whose check is the biggest.
That's all I'm saying. So check in where the check is most plentiful.
To quote the great Problem, check the check and go straight to the city with it.
When I bubble is trouble.
What?
On the double.
What? Let's see. What else do we have? Oh. So yeah, we at the end. We got one more thing to talk about here.
And new
drugs, baby.
Yeah, run down this drug. In real time, we have an and new.
And new what?
Women's Tag Team Champions.
Oh,
yeah.
Monday Night Raw is in full effect as we doing this for y'all. Because I mean, thank you for time shifting. The wonderful gift that keeps on giving. We can go back and watch it from the beginning.
Facts.
Go ahead.
You know what? I mean, yeah, by the time they see this, it won't be spoiler alert. So yeah, Rhea and Io are now the women's tag team champions.
Shouts out to Free City, who just sent me the fact that Alicia Taylor is on Monday Night Raw Stranger Things with regular hair. Got to be more careful. And last month it was announced that the president of the United States has updated the DEA's list of Schedule 3 drugs and substances with, quote, moderate to low potential for physical and psychological dependence. Why are we talking about this on the Broken Pencil Booking Company Person Podcast? Funny that you asked, Pencil Pusher, is because on the Schedule 3 list, these drugs currently include, or will include, Tylenol with codeine, also known as Tylenol 3, testosterone, ketamine, and anabolic steroids.
Define for the pencil pusher what Schedule 3 means.
I just did, with moderate to low potential for physical and psychological dependence.
So steroid users don't get addicted and become psychologically dependent upon the drug.
Keep going.
Dark Side of the Ring, season 3, steroid trials. any superstar Billy Graham documentary ever made.
The trial of 1993.
Steroid trials. Or how Good Try Terry went on Arsenio Hall and told people he had used steroids twice in his life to recover from injury. But as of right now, I'm not using steroids and never have. Like, what?
Let's put this into perspective. Schedule 1 currently is listed as heroin, LSD, marijuana, ecstasy, and peyote, which marijuana will be declassified as a Schedule 1 soon, later this year, if not beginning of next year. No data to substantiate an actual date, but all evidence points to that thereof.
Okay.
Schedule 5 would be Robitussin, Lomotil, Modafinil, and Lyrica or Lyrica. So in between that's 1 and 5, right?
Yeah.
Pick one, 2 or 4.
4 more years.
Xanax, Valium, Ativan, Ambien, and Tramadol are Schedule 4.
Okay.
Which is low potential for abuse and dependence, acceptable in medicinal quantities, prescription required with few refill regulations.
Okay. What, like few refill regulations, as in you have a finite number of refills, or few like we ain't finna put no whole bunch.
We don't care, basically.
Okay, there you go. There's that.
Because the fewest would be the Robitussin. That's the Schedule 5. So again, I gave you the 3. We're missing the 2. Let me go ahead and give you the 2, just for shits and giggles.
Right.
Vicodin, cocaine, meth, OxyContin, and Adderall. So
Adderall must do something that I don't know about.
People overdose on Ambien. They sell Xanax on the street as an upper. Vicodin as a downer, but in the middle you have ketamine, which is a horse tranquilizer.
Bruh.
Well, not horse, animals. Kittens and ducks are included in that. And
okay. That's crazy.
And if you only want 2 classifications of gender, testosterone is the way to go back and forth between those. A way, let's say a way.
Okay.
If these were declassified or downgraded to a 3, we know of wrestlers who have used ketamine. We've seen wrestlers and still see wrestlers who have and or still use steroids and or testosterone.
Yep.
Do we remove this from the wellness policy and or testing schedules, or does that even exist anymore within professional wrestling?
I think it exists more so.
Well, actually, I'm sorry, let me back up. Combat sports.
I think it'll always exist, kind of, if for nothing else, for window dressing. Just so
people, salad dressing.
Right. So people just don't start tossing around libelous statements about the competitors in a certain arena. So it'll stay for that reason, but I think a lot of people have gotten very lax on the testing policy, mainly due to the fact that body shaming is a thing now. So you don't have as many people as, and what's the word I'm looking for, as obsessive about their body type. You don't have to look like Lex Luger to be successful in professional wrestling anymore.
Ask Darby Allin.
Ask Adam Cole.
Baby.
So, I mean, for that reason, and because the style of wrestling has changed, you're looking for more flexible,
more realistic.
Yeah, more realistic combat, people who are more
relatable,
realistic athletic body presentation. You know, you don't have to look like you take IcoPro to necessarily, capture the vibe going on in wrestling. As a matter of fact, those body types have actually become the outliers. And it becomes so obvious that you're in the midst of a cycle. If you're not getting main event money, I don't think you even need to invest in that.
And that was going to be my next question to you. Do you think there's a tiered approach? And this is totally opinionated. We already know what the pimp said. Opinions like booty holes. Everybody got them. Most of them stink. Do you think there's a tiered approach to the testing process or the idea of who needs or wants to be tested within a particular organization or sport based on perceived importance?
I'll say it like this. The idea that everybody is treated the same is a myth. Some people are treated as though they're more important than another because in reality they are more important than the others. So there's going to be more leniency for those people who have either served more time or occupy a different space on the card. Your main event talent and your attractions are going to be able to get away with more than, say, your NXT trainees. Now, if you're an NXT trainee and your nose is full of blow during training sessions, yeah, you're going to find yourself on the other end of a pink slip. Now, if Lesnar wants to cycle and get his nose dirty before the WrestleMania main event, the biggest thing you're going to have to worry about is making sure he doesn't unalive whoever he's in the ring with. And that's as far as that conversation is going to go.
Hypothetically speaking, of course.
Hypothetically speaking, we don't know if anyone named uses blow or any other substance similar to it or steroids.
But considering, like, we know, we've seen quote unquote the size, we've seen we know the pedigree, the true to life pedigree that said performer has.
Mm-hmm.
We know from what we've seen that said substance is performance enhancing, not performance reducing. If you can't feel your face, you can take a shot to it.
That part. Yeah, if you can't feel your face, you absolutely can get hit in it. It's just, there's certain personality types you don't want to give that type of tackling fuel to.
Man,
he absolutely belongs to that personality type.
There was a show back in the 80s on HBO called First and 10. It was about a football team called the California Bulls.
I remember that.
And if you want to talk about the rest in peace, the Lyle Alzados, the John Matuzaks, these are both Raider legends in that heyday of John Madden and with the Los Angeles Raiders. The reason why the Raiders went back to went back to Oakland rather, because of the mystique that they had, and Lawrence Taylor even was on that show. The Any Given Sunday approach, if you want to get something more recent that's more relatable to you.
My name is Willie B.
It gives you Like that movie and those shows give you so much insight from a third party perspective of what the real life was actually going through. Hell, even Lyle Lauzado had a stint in wrestling. He had a show, I forgot what it was called, but he featured WCW wrestlers on it every week. And he was a father who was a school teacher who doubled as a professional wrestler under a mask.
I'm trying to remember. I vaguely remember that show. The name escapes me.
I'm about to get it right. Learning the Ropes was the name of it.
Damn.
Yeah, Learning the Ropes.
I do remember that show.
What I didn't know was it was a Canadian show.
Really?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I remember Dr. Dusty Williams is in it. I remember seeing Luger. There was a few like top tier people that was in that show.
That's wild.
I'm sure you can find it if you search. But anyway, yeah, it was a true to life depiction of what people saw and was translated to camera from the stars who actually participated in those venues. So yeah, tons of history today, there, Suave.
I mean, you know,
that's what we do.
We have to serve a full plate when we've been, you know, chefing for as long as we have. Kitchen's been closed for a little bit, so you don't start out, you know, with appetizers and tapas plates. You got to give somebody a full situation.
And we're learning scholars here. So if you have
learning doctors,
if you have knowledge that you would like to share with us for things that we can, you know, distribute amongst the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast infused with hip hop and pencil pusher nation worldwide, please hit us up on the socials. Show at brokenpencilbc.com, brokenpencilbc@gmail.com. It's at brokenpencilbc on all things social, at brokenpencilbc on what?
Everything
and
everything.
Suave, take him to the house.
Pencil pushers, like, rate, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell that friend to tell a friend, and then tell that friend again. Heads up. Pencils down.
88, Keith Kinlow. Rest in peace.
Straight like that.
Whole lot of fucking gang shit.